All right, so this time we are here to talk about interphase. Interphase, inter means between. So it is the phase in between divisions. So a cell's going to go into interphase, it's going to do its thing, and then it's going to go through division. And then it's going back to interphase, and it's back to division, and back to interphase, and back to division. And so it's just kind of cycle. That's why it's a cycle. Cycles through those things. And so I can describe interphase. For this, I can tell what's happening in interphase and what the cell looks like in interphase. So when a cell is in interphase, I'm not going to draw all the mitochondria, Golgi, just know all that's there. I'm going to focus on the nucleus because that's what changes in mitosis. What you're going to see is you're going to see some centrioles or acentriole, which that's not a very good one. A centriole is going to look kind of like a bundle of straws. This is probably the best way I can think of to describe it. So here's the top of it. You see all those little circles, and then you see the stripes down the side where the straws are. What you're going to see in interphase is you're going to see pretty much a homogeneous looking nucleus. Okay, it's hard to do with a pen. If I had a good shading pencil or something, that would work better. And then you're also going to see a nucleolus, or some cells have more than one. So you'll see a nucleolus or nucleoli. So if you see a cell that looks like that, and it might have one nucleolus, it might have three, it might have 10, as long as you can see the nucleolus and you can't really see the chromosomes, then you know it's an interphase. So that's what a cell would look like in interphase. As far as what a cell does in interphase, it's where it's going to grow and do its normal job and copy its DNA. So let's look at the 3 stages of interphase. There's first G1. G1 is where the cell is going to grow. It's going to do its normal job. So if it's a heart cell, it's going to contract. If it's an intestinal cell, it's going to do its absorption. If it's a stomach cell, it's going to produce hydrochloric acid ions and pepsin and all that good stuff. Whatever the cell is, this is when it's going to do its normal job. This is when all of the genes that it needs to do to make enzymes are going to be turned on. Okay, it's also when the cell's going to grow. A lot of cells just hang out in G1 for a while because when they first divide, they're tiny and they got to get big again before they divide. After G1 is the S phase. S stands for synthesis, which is a fancy word that they love in AP biology that means make. It means to make something. And so synthesis is where we are going to copy our DNA. So we're going to do DNA replication, which we'll talk about in Unit 6. Okay, and so you're basically going to go from having your 46 single chromosomes, if you're a human, to 46 duplicated chromosomes. Okay, so go from that single line to the X. Okay. And then the third phase is G2. Okay, so I'm showing them as 3 phases, but they're in order. And here we're going to see more cell growth. You probably see the cell doing its normal job some more too, because the DNA is done being copied. When it's being copied, it can't be transcribed. It can't have both of those going on at the same time. Now, one end might be being transcribed and the other end being copied. That might can happen, but they can't. All of those enzymes can't be reading the same piece of DNA at the same time. So they kind of take a pause on working so that they can copy that DNA. It's also going to copy organelles. You got to have a copy for both daughter cells. And it's going to prepare or make any enzymes that are needed to start cell division. So if there's any enzymes that are needed to kind of push that cell into prophase to make the nucleus start dissolving and make the centrioles start to move and those kinds of things, those are going to be produced during G2. So it's just kind of getting ready and preparing for cell division. And so that is interphase in a nutshell. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, let me give you that. If you've got any questions, just let me know.